your forecast first. Sponsored by Natex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Another day where the clouds were the rule today, and even a few little flurries that were showing up in southwestern Illinois earlier. But for the most part, just very overcast and gloomy, with temperatures in the mid-30s across the region. 33 in Springfield, 37 in Effingham, and 35 degrees in Champaign. This cloud cover just doesn't seem to want to go anywhere. We've been stuck in this pattern for a while, and we've got more in the forecast. But there is a little bit of sunshine that we can share with you in the 7-day forecast, along with temperatures that may actually reach the 40s. We'll show you when to expect that coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from
The nation's capital still reeling from yesterday's riot. Tonight, we know some who were there from central Illinois. Plus, it's been months since lawmakers met at the state capitol. Why their lame duck session could be anything but quiet.
And also tonight, this railroad crossing has taken the life of a teenager and 2 others. Now, a mother's fight for more safety is almost over.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jennifer Rusko.
I'm Paul Cicchini. America is still reeling after rioters breached the Capitol yesterday.
Lawmakers are calling for the president to be removed from office. A woman died in the Capitol building, and several people, including 2 from Illinois, were arrested.
Cleanup continues at the Capitol, and the government is now moving in 6,200 National Guard members and installing 7-foot tall fencing in preparation for the inauguration.
President Trump stayed behind closed doors today, leaving his press secretary to condemn yesterday's riots. The FBI says it's working to identify those involved in the insurrection and have already received more than 4,000 tips.
Now, 3 men from Illinois who were there returned home today and spoke with WCIA 3's Cole Hankey about what they believe was actually a peaceful protest. Cole is in Lovington, where 2 of the men live. Cole, what did they tell you they saw?
Well, the 3 men drove back from Washington today after being a part of the crowds that stormed onto the Capitol grounds and into the Capitol. Now, Neil Marshall and Al Rennert never actually made it inside the Capitol, but they did make it onto the Capitol grounds. They believe firmly, the reason they went to Washington in the first place, they believe firmly in the president's baseless claims that the election was stolen from him. And yesterday, they know that they were a part of history. Even they were surprised with how easily the crowd seemed to move into the Capitol grounds, something that also shocked former Capitol Hill employees that we spoke with today. They say they didn't see any of the violence around the Capitol, and they didn't expect it when they went to Washington, or else Rennert said he would have been more prepared.
I thought perhaps that there would be some kind of a march, and that there may be confrontations along the sides of the march. That's what I thought about. And I didn't bring any weapons or anything like that.
Rennert saw people climbing the outer walls of the Capitol where the inauguration will be held for President-elect Biden in just a couple of weeks. But he believes what many in the Republican Party are even calling a disgrace to the history of America was just people making their voices heard. Now, Rennert and Marshall returned to their homes here in Lovington and Bethany, Illinois. Wednesday evening, we hear more from them, and we speak with some college professors who used to work on Capitol Hill about just how unprecedented yesterday was. Paul?
All right, Cole, thanks for that update. We'll look forward to that report tonight. Now, Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger is calling on Vice President Mike Pence and members of the cabinet to use the 25th Amendment. Basically means the VP assumes the presidency because the president is unable to fill his or her duties. Now, Kinzinger says President Trump abandoned his responsibilities and Trump has become, quote, unmoored from his duty, oath, and reality.
Sadly, yesterday, it became evident that not only has the president abdicated his duty to protect the American people and the people's house, he invoked and inflamed passions that only gave fuel to the insurrection that we saw here.
House Speaker Pelosi and incoming Majority Leader Chuck Schumer have called for the 25th Amendment to be invoked, and moments ago, Tammy Duckworth added her name to that growing list.
State lawmakers are preparing to return to Springfield for the first time since dismissing in May. Speaker Madigan called a lame duck session before the new members are sworn in next week. Our Capitol Bureau Chief, Mark Maxwell, live in Springfield now. So, Mark, what are we in for?
Jennifer, we could see some big changes all in a small, short window. Lawmakers haven't met here under one roof since May. Many of them want to blow off a bit of steam. Some of them feel like the State House was largely sidelined, taking a back seat to the executive branch, and there's a lot to work on. But some of the issues are thorny, too. They come down to, can government police themselves? For example, ethics. Can lawmakers write rules to clean up that culture of corruption? Or law enforcement themselves, those who enforce the laws. Can they reform the way police conduct themselves in modern America? The Legislative Black Caucus pushing for changes there. Republican Tim Butler said he expects one thing, though, to stand out among all the others.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everything that's going on with the speaker really overshadows, I think, just about everything that could potentially be done in a lame duck session, and it's going to overshadow next Wednesday when the new General Assembly gets sworn in as well. I mean, that's the main question in front of us, actually. You know, who is going to control, who's going to be the speaker in the next General Assembly, and I think that really will dominate most of what we discuss over the next couple weeks.
That's his perspective from the House. They'll meet in the Bank of Springfield Center, scattered out there. The press won't have access to the floor, but will have a lone camera feed from the sky above in the mezzanine and a press briefing room outside. We expect to watch closely. The House Women's Caucus just having a number of new candidates challenging Speaker Madigan for his gavel there. That will be a fascinating fight to watch. Also, a heightened security presence here in Springfield, both at the Capitol Complex grounds here and across town at the Bank of Springfield Center, where police and law enforcement are trying to prevent any kind of riot or any kind of demonstration that might spiral into what we saw in our nation's capital. Reporting from Springfield, Mark Maxwell, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Definitely don't want to see that, Mark. Thank you. Now, one sheriff in central Illinois is concerned about a criminal reform bill. Champaign County Sheriff Dustin Harmon says he fears it's moving too quickly. It suggests things like ways to get unethical officers off the streets and ending qualified immunity. It was introduced just yesterday and could be voted on within a week. But he says it needs more consideration before that happens.
I just don't want people to be pressured into signing a bill that they have no idea what the ramifications of that bill are going to be in the future. So that's really what this is about, not as much of the content, but the method that is being used.
Now, that bill hasn't been called yet. It is possible it could be considered prior to the end of the lame duck session.
Illinois basketball has had a good start to the Big Ten season. Will it keep it up on the road tonight against Northwestern?
Plus, it's Ed Day. One mother has been fighting for 2 years what's being done at a railroad crossing that could help save lives.
Recap today, where high temperatures made it actually to 38 degrees, above average, despite having all of that cloud cover out there. So when can we bring back that sunshine? There's a little bit in the 7-day forecast. Also, a couple of flurries that we'll talk about when we come back.